Hey, Jessie.
Hello, Lindsay.
And welcome, listeners. So this is the re-release of our part 2 of the West Memphis Three case, a case that is very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
So much so that we wanted to re-release it while we're on a break.
Oh, my goodness, dude. Have you checked out the first one? If you have, thank you so much. And
we'll listen to it the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. Go back if you haven't, because we're on part 2. Mm-hmm. I was shocked on part 1. It was really wow. And now we're on part 2. Still looking for justice. Still, and we'll always look for justice while we're resharing this one.
And make sure you follow our website, drinkaboutSomething.site, and hit us up. Hit us up in our DMs.
Yeah.
At drinkaboutSomething.pod on Instagram.
Yes. DrinkaboutSomething.pod at .pod.com. Pod.
And
#/ Jessie and Lindsay.
If this is your first time, once again, welcome. And we're so happy that you're here, especially listening to this case that is very special to me.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of the coverage that I did on it and the research.
Yeah, we're horrifically happy together.
So make sure you guys stay till the very end and listen to these iconic bands that we have permission to play.
Yeah.
We have the okay to do it.
We're resharing the bands along with the podcast.
Which is so exciting.
Yeah. Get to redo all the doings.
Yeah.
So check it out. And we hope you have happy travels and all the good stuff along your journey through.
And send us all the good vibes for our camping and listening adventure at Rockville for our 11th year, Jessie.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're doing the things we're camping on turn 4 right now. So that's what we're doing. Ball gown. Yeah. So, safe travels through all of your adventures through true crime. And thank you guys for actually tuning in to our platform and sharing and liking, subscribing, and doing all the cool stuff.
And if you know what ball gown is from, hit us up. We may send you some merch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting that on us. Let's do it.
That on us.
Let's do it. Ball gown.
Ball gown.
Have a good one.
Love you. Bye.
Is drink about something. This is Jessie.
And boy, do we have something to drink about.
And Miss Lindsay is killing it. Like, this is it. I am sitting back right now and I'm like, holy shit, like, this is it's gonna be good, guys.
This is
this. She was like, you didn't talk a lot that last one. I was like, I was kind of letting you roll because, like, I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? And
we're going to get more into it today with part 2 of West Memphis 3.
Yes. Time to take a trip on the West Memphis 3.
Go to Memphis, cross the bridge, and then you're in West Memphis,
in the
Arkansas.
in the pit of the Bible Belt.
Oh, pit. 1993 too, boy.
So I mean, I left it like I was like, they're railroading.
How old were we in 1993? I was 11. You were 12. Okay, so we weren't quite in the teenage years, but guess what? Nirvana was on the scene.
That's where I was at, and
Tool
that's
was on the scene.
Actually, to me, that Nirvana. If you're on, that was a trend.
We are
to
grunge kids.
I loved
right
Weezer.
Here.
I loved Weezer.
Oh yeah, Offspring.
Yeah.
What was my other go-to back then when I was 11? Hootie.
You're a Hoot fan? No, I mean, I'm not down you at all.
No, because me and you have jammed the fuck out to
because
some Hootie.
We
so
know
shut
every
up.
single song.
I only want to be with you. Oh, my hero.
Quiet now. We're not play that. No.
I lead you to a promised land.
But like, so,
And there's nothing I can do.
There's nothing you can do. And it's all in your head all day long. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Let her cry.
Oh God, don't do it.
Let the tears fall down like rain. Hey, they might during this episode. They
They're
may
cry. You were really in shambles.
It's hard.
You were in shambles.
I'm glad we didn't record this last week because, that PMS was kicking and I would have lost my shit.
You would have probably kicked my ass just for feeling bad about what's going on here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, though, and for following. Like, this is an amazing journey.
Yes,
and
we're having fun talking about horrible shit.
Yeah. You know what's really cool? Like, if I do like these different little stupid voices, like I try to do all these, goofy banter things or whatever, like it adds like another person to the podcast whenever it edits, because I'm too lazy and I do like that auto edit thing. So it's like podcaster 1, 2, 3.
Brian Adams.
4.
Brian Adams is the go-to. He had that song that came out right around that time. What was it called? To Love a Woman, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
To really love a woman. Yes.
Wasn't he like...
that was a cool video, too. It had all the chicks in masks and stuff. I remember it vividly.
He was a little heartthrob right there, yeah.
Now, let me tell y'all, I was not allowed to experience this shit at home. I was only, my friends brought me into the secular music world. So I wouldn't have known shit.
That's the Princess Bride nut that we really love, too, right?
That was not on Princess Bride.
What was on Princess Bride? Who was the band on it?
First of all, you're thinking of Robin Hood, and Brian Adams was on that.
Hood? Who was on Princess Bride, though? Wasn't there a band on Princess Bride?
I don't remember now.
Anyway, we'll look it up. I don't remember. I could have swore it was him, though.
I don't remember. What song was that? No, that was 5 years before that song came out.
Was it?
At least. When did Princess Bride come out?
I don't know.
We're getting off into tangents, but now I got to Google it. Y'all got to hang out with me for the Goog.
I'm trying to wish as I wish. As you wish.
All right, so.
Inconceivable. Fucking conceivable. I'm stirring shit.
Okay, so Princess Bride came out in 1987.
What song? There was a song on it.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I done went out.
I need to know. Oh, thank you, technology.
Princess Bride soundtrack?
I guess that'd be Gen X. Thank you, Gen X, for bringing us this technology.
Mm-hmm.
Us millennials we like to prove everybody wrong or find out all of the facts on things.
No, it was all I remembered as being like harpy mandolin music.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I need to revisit. It hasn't been more than 2 months since we watched this.
Actually, I don't remember watching it all this year.
We haven't watched it.
No, we got to close the year out.
Finish up the Halloween shit. Oh, hey, loving the weather right now.
Yes. It's sweater weather.
Loving it.
Okay. That's the last time I'll say that.
So, hey, we're going to strap
We get excited in Florida, though, when it gets cold. Oh, it's like...
If it gets 50 degrees,
follows that you, player?
We're full on wintertime here. We're just like, holy shit, it's going to snow.
And, I have already seen the same motherfuckers that complain about the heat on Facebook. They complain about the cold. As soon as it drops. I'm like, you need to live on a different planet. Yeah. You need to live in a different state, I guess. I don't know.
Stay inside. We don't want you outside.
Go down to the Caribbean where it's like hot all year round. Yeah.
No, I think it's funny. Like, people, they're just not comfortable sometimes, Yeah. I'm the same way, though, sometimes. I'm never comfortable. So, fire this thing off. I'm excited. Like, I don't want to bullshit anymore. I'm tired of bullshitting. Just go.
All right.
Just go. No. I'm really saying it. Like, just go.
So.
Okay, go.
You sure?
No. Just go ahead. Just go.
So last week we left off with Damian Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley, your namesake, spelled differently. Jessie Misskelley had been arrested for the murders of Stevie Branch, Christopher Hobbs, and Michael Moore because of the confession of Jessie Misskelley. So who is Jessie Misskelley? So Jessie lived in the same trailer park as Damian and Jason, but Damian had only hung out with him once, and it was only because he was looking for Jason and his mom told him that he was hanging out at Jessie's house. So Jessie was born July 10th, 1975. So he was 17 around the time of the murders, and he was still a minor. Keep that in mind, okay? Jessie was a little guy, like 5'1", around 100 pounds, but he was a fighter. He had a tattoo of the word bitch. Nobody knows why. And his mother had abandoned him at a young age, but he adored his father, loved his dad. I mean, just loved him, even though his dad was abusive and an alcoholic. So Jessie has an IQ of 72.
Oh.
Making him borderline mentally challenged.
Most of us Jessies do.
Well, no, I love you, but do not fuck around about Jessie Misskelley.
I was just going by my name.
I know.
I feel like we're on the same level here.
I will fight you. Oh. No, I'm just kidding. No, he does. He grips.
I can't play with it. She has so much invested in these.
He gripped my heart in this episode.
I feel it like part of the whole railroading thing that might be happening here. So I get you. So at 7 years old, he still couldn't say his ABCs or count past 15. Oh.
At 11, he had only made it to the 3rd grade. So why did he confess to the police that Jason and Damien had committed the murders? Well, first, I have to go back just a little bit and tell you about Vicky Hutchinson. Vicky Hutchinson was a 32-year-old waitress and lived in the same trailer park near Jessie. She was new to the area, and around the time of the murder, she was being brought up on fraud charges. So she went down to the station on May 6th, and the murders were on May 5th. She went down on May 6th to be questioned about the charges brought up on her, and brought her 8-year-old son along with her, whose name was Aaron. Detective Don Bray was given Vicky a polygraph to determine whether or not she had stolen from her employer. And Aaron was too much of a distraction, and he could not administer the polygraph because Aaron had a lot to say. So Aaron was a playmate of the victims.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Yeah.
I figure they're the same ages.
Aaron was a playmate of the victims and said that the boys had been murdered at the playhouse, which he said was near where their bodies had been discovered. So Bray asked for further details. Aaron said that the boys had been killed by Satanists who spoke Spanish. His further statements proved to be inconsistent, and there was no playhouse. But that did not stop the police officer from leaking this information to the press, making the people believe even more that this was part of a satanic ritual. For some reason, the police still decided to use Vicky as an informant and devised a plan. So Vicky knew Jessie, and for some reason, she had Jessie babysit Aaron from time to time, and other children. I think there was a couple other kids involved, but those details were a little weird.
So she's just like,
some people would just say Aaron, and then some say children, that he babysat her children. So I'm not sure if she had more than just Aaron.
She was trying to do her. She was trying to get out, girl.
I know, but like I said, Jessie Misskelley had an IQ of 72.
Right.
And, he was a little guy. But at the same time, you got to remember, simple-minded people actually connect with children more. But then that wears off after a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was kind of weird to me. But, this was.
But his persona looked like
I said, this was a whole different world than what we understand.
He wouldn't have hurt a kid in his persona. He was just like this kind of on their level type kid.
Right.
I mean, grown man, but kid.
So, like I said, he babysat Aaron from time to time and would stay overnight on occasion. And since Jessie knew Jason and Jason was best friends with Damien, they used Jessie as a ploy. Vicky told Jessie that she wanted to meet Damien and to have him come over. Jessie didn't understand why, but he agreed to it. So the police set up microphones in Vicky's house and set up books about the occult and witchcraft around her house so that Damien would feel more, quote unquote, comfortable. Now, I forgot to mention that there was a large reward, somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000 for any information on this case. And that was life-changing for these people.
Horrible.
That was a life-changing amount of money.
I mean, the whole thing is just, it's a mess.
So this actually ended up being about a 15-minute meeting that was recorded. Damien said nothing incriminating, and the police ended up saying that the recording was inaudible. But Vicky said that it was indeed audible. But of course, this recording just got lost.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm. So Vicky tells police that she and Damien started an 8-day affair and that she's 32. He's 18, freshly 18. So she tells police that they started an 8-day affair, and she, Damien, Jessie, and Jason all go to a witches meeting in Turrell, Arkansas, which she called in a spot. I don't know how they came up with the word a spot, because I have looked online and could not find anything on a witch's a spot. That's just a term that I heard on the documentaries and in some of the other podcasters. So I tried to look it up, couldn't find it. So that sounds like a word that was planted to me. It sounds like a word that was just planted in her brain.
Like they didn't really know
this
much
woman.
about
If you see her on the
called.
documentaries, you can look right at her and tell she don't know what an a spot is.
Right. I don't know what the hell that is, but like, I don't know if they just call it that, something like that up in that area or something.
She said that Damien drove in a red Ford Escort and there was a huge orgy in the woods. Everybody was naked and painted black.
Whee!
It's always an orgy. Every time. So she says that she was so disgusted because she was such a good Christian woman and wanted to leave, and said Damien, her, and Jason left, but Jessie stayed behind for the witches' orgy. She will later testify this under oath in court, and it is used as evidence. Damien did not drive. He did not know how, and he didn't have a Ford Escort. He didn't have a license, and nobody in his family or any of Jason's families or Jesse's families have this car.
It's like the most common car model of that time to me.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, I had a Mercury Tracer, which was the Mercury version of the Ford Escort. It's a great little car.
So if you seen that going by, you're like, oh, that's an Escort for sure. Right.
Yeah, it looked just like one.
Right.
So Vicky will later say that this entire story was false and fabricated by police and Jerry Driver, who had threatened to take her child away if she did not participate and testify. But it would be too late when she recants her story. So, and Aaron would later say that he was lying because police told him to. So this is where the questioning of Jessie comes into play. Vicky placed him at the witches' orgy, and then he denies all of this, of course. But the police have Vicky ask Jessie to spend the night because she was scared of a prowler in the neighborhood. And so he agrees, sleeping on her couch with a gun under his pillow to protect her and her child.
Wow.
This is the last night that this boy spends as a free man for the next 19 years. Okay. Yeah. So then, and Vicky was his friend. Vicky was his friend. He trusted her, had no idea what was going on. None. So the next morning on June 3rd, 1993 at 9 a.m., detectives come to her trailer and ask to speak with Jessie down at the station. His dad was there, so he felt safe and agreed, but had no idea what was going on. They get his dad to give permission to talk to him because he was still a minor, but he had no clue what they were there for. So they tell him that there's a $35,000 reward. They tell Jessie this for information, and if he could provide it, his family would get that money. Jessie says they tell him that if he knew anything, his dad could buy him a new truck.
Or an Escort.
He told them what he knew from the rumors and that he had saw some kids playing around the area that day, but that was it. Then they polygraph this 17-year-old with an IQ of 72, still had the mind of pretty much a 9-year-old, that polygraphs could read his mind.
And he, of course, believed it. We
believed
all did.
It 100%.
We all believe that polygraph. We were told that.
So Gary Gitchell led the questioning that followed. He asked him why he knew so much about the murders if he didn't do it. Jessie says he was just repeating things that he had heard. Then he said they kept hollering at him. They kept telling him that they knew he had something to do with it because other people told them. He said he pretty much repeated what they told him because he started to get scared and just wanted to go home. Like when Gary Gitchell would ask if the boys were tied with, or what the boys were tied up with, he would say rope. And they said, God damn it, Jessie. They were tied up with their shoestrings, like just yelling at him, you know.
Right, like they just railroading it. I'm sorry. I keep saying that word, but
It is. It's complete. He said they would yell at him over and over until he would repeat the story exactly as they had told it to him. He kept telling him over and over that he could go home if he just cooperated. They showed him pictures of the victims from the crime scene, which was absolutely horrific. Horrific. It's 3 naked boys hogtied. So, and after showing him photos, they also played a creepy audio disembodied voice of Aaron Hutchinson saying, "Nobody knows what happened but me." He didn't know whose voice it was at all until way later. It was just this creepy kid, or creepy sounding kid that haunted him.
Nobody knows.
Oh, God.
Say when the nights are lonely.
After an 11 to 12 hour interrogation happened, only 45 minutes was recorded.
What?
That's it. 45 minutes.
Those are the best minutes, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just 45
that was
of the best
last
fucking minutes.
The last
right?
minutes. Yeah.
Oh,
on the recording, he would say things like, "Yeah, I saw Damien and Jason screwing them, and then I left." And then they would place him back there. Then he would say, "Yeah, I saw him tying him up. Then I left." They would place him back there again.
Better edited than what this podcast is.
He takes him, and this was in 93.
Right.
Yeah. He takes himself out of the situation like 7 or 8 times, and they continue to put him back in it. He got the times wrong. First, he said it was at 9 a.m. And that wasn't true because all 3 boys and Jason were in school. Then he said, well, they skipped school. No, also incorrect. Then he changed it to noon. And finally, after a while, he said around 7 p.m. I listened to this interrogation and it's insane. Okay, so this interrogation was obviously leading, but horribly damning to all 3 of them. And what fucked Jessie Misskelley was he was led to say that he ran down one of the boys and caught him and brought him back. He was led to say that. He had already taken himself out of the situation several times before he
kept
says
kept
that.
getting himself out, but then he wanted to be like a hero that's involved type thing.
So this is an example of how simple-minded Jessie was. He did not know what a lawyer was. He just thought it was another type of police officer. He didn't know who the president was, which was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had been governor of his state.
He didn't know.
He didn't know. I was 11 in 1993, and I knew exactly who Bill Clinton was.
For sure did, yeah.
Right there. So Jessie, after the interrogation, he was put in a holding cell, not knowing that he was actually being implicated by his own words. And he thought he was just waiting for his dad to pick him up.
Wow. So what I'm gathering, he's more like a 6-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's so confused.
Yeah.
On the documentaries, that's all you see in his face is utter confusion. And it just, it made me cry so much.
I think, and what I said in the last podcast, I'd caught a little glimpse of this, and I'm not supposed to know about these. I think I remember this guy. I think I remember seeing him in court.
He was the smaller
one.
I
can't recall it. I was probably drinking too much. So what are you guys thinking so far? Like, this is crazy. This is a lot. And scattered everywhere. Like, I'm looking at her notes right now. Mm-hmm. Scattered everywhere. It's insane. She is just going off about this.
So after this confession, prosecutor John Fogelman went before the judge and asked for a warrant to arrest Damien and Jason. All right, so now we're going to get into the trials.
Oh, God, there we go.
So on June 7th, 1993, all boys were given public defenders because, of course, they couldn't afford attorneys. So Jason they couldn't afford, hired.
Yeah, all the rings were already.
Right, exactly. That money was just wasted.
Gone. Thank you. Come again.
So Jason got Paul Ford and Robin Wadley. Damien got Val Price, and I got the second lawyer's name wrong, so I don't remember. I'm sorry. And Jessie got Dan Stidham and Greg Crow. Dan Stidham is an absolute angel and stays with him for many, many years. Dan Stidham is the lawyer.
Jerry was a race car driver come back?
I'm Yeah, he's coming back.
Here comes Jerry.
Okay, so Jessie would be tried first and separate from Damien and Jason. Damien and Jason would be tried together. And by the way, Jason was only questioned initially because he hung out with Damien. Damien was basically the star of the narrative. So Jason literally was guilty by association.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, meanwhile, Joe Berlinger and Bruce Sinofsky had heard this story and wanted to make a documentary about 3 teenage satanic murders, but soon found out there is so much more.
Yeah.
And that is the directors of the Paradise Lost, the 3 films. It's on HBO Max. Absolutely watch them.
Yeah, what sucks about all this is like there's probably years of propaganda that went behind this before we started getting into the old Goog, you know? Google starts showing so much more. Like, honestly, like all this information probably just came out within the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody kept believing that. Whatever it was, whatever it became, the rest, I mean, they might know in that local community what really went down for sure. But like the rest of us that got all caught wind of all that was in panic, satanically.
Yes. It was a time. It was a time. So Gary Gitchell immediately contacted the press for a conference to let everyone know that they had the suspects in custody. And when asked on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident he was, he said 11. Lib. So all 3 pled not guilty, by the way, of course. And these trials are recorded in the documentaries Paradise Lost, which I just mentioned. And like it was one of the first court recorded trials.
Okay. So
like video recorded trials, excuse me. Yeah.
Okay.
Open. Yeah.
Wow.
So all the prosecution had on them was pretty much the false confession and Vicky Hutchinson and Aaron Hutchinson statements. Aaron was still telling the police all kinds of tales. He ended up saying that he witnessed satanic rituals involving the 3 and also said that the 3 committed the actual murder and they were all wearing matching black shirts with dragons on them. Yes. Matching twinsies.
So fun.
And this was used as real evidence. But they didn't use him as a witness in the stand because he actually placed himself in the murders, saying a black man held a gun to his head and ordered him to dismember one of the boys. And of course, this didn't fit the narrative.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan Stidham went into this thinking that Jessie was guilty and that he was just there to work on getting a plea deal for him. But after reading the insane confession and spending more time with Jessie, he quickly changed his mind and his work was cut out for him. He would ask Jessie several times to repeat the story and it would change every time.
How would you like to be a public defender in this situation? This is what I've aspired to do over here in Arkansas.
So now this part makes me a little emotional. So one of the times that he would visit to work on the case, Jessie asked him, "Who is Satan?" And Dan was like, "What, like the material?"
Oh,
and
God.
Jessie showed him a pamphlet a preacher had given him on the warnings of the dangers of Satan.
Oh, my God.
And he was on trial for a satanic murder and didn't know who Satan was.
The whole time, he just thought they were saying Satan, like this was part of some sex something or other. I don't know. Hey, I would misread that, though. I'd misspell it for sure.
So David Burnett was the judge and John Fogelman was the prosecutor for all trials. Judge Burnett said no psychologist had any place in a courtroom. No psychologist.
What?
No psychiatrist, no psychologist.
Oh, you can't have those.
Mm-mm. And that would have been a big help for a kid with an IQ of 72 and had a false confession.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because he quickly look at this guy, young man that's in the mind of about a 6-year-old.
Yeah, Judge Burnett went into this completely convinced that all 3 of them were satanic killers and needed to be behind bars.
And the thing is,
and judges are supposed to be impartial.
Yeah.
Completely impartial.
Yeah, they were very partial, it seems like.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't recall the videos or anything or seeing him, Jessie. And
you didn't make it to the trials.
Yeah. But just
You
from
was
what I'm
asleep, I
hearing
think,
and the experience.
when we
because,
watched the documentary. Yeah.
My mom and two sisters, both of my mom and sisters, they worked in an area kind of like this, I feel like. But I get the whole 6-year-old type mentality. And that's probably where it'll be at. That's it.
Well, I mean, they said, 9 to 11 at best, but he was 17 at this point. Yeah.
But no, I think he's a little younger. I'll give him 8.
So there was no real evidence against any of them other than the confession, quote unquote.
Forced confession.
Yeah. The medical examiner on this case said that the wounds on the victims looked to be caused by a serrated knife, and they had ruled out any sexual assault. What is unique and not good about West Memphis medical examiner is that it was not an impartial department. They actually worked for the prosecution. Yeah.
Wow.
And this medical examiner, he was not even board certified.
What?
Yes. He had failed the boards twice, and then just the third time he just never got around to it.
So we don't need all those credentials anymore. No, not in this courtroom, in the name of Jesus.
So on January 26, 1994, was the beginning of Jessie's trial. Dan Stidham tried to have the confession thrown out because of its inconsistencies. But Detective Brian Ridge, who had been in the confession room, said that before the recording, Jessie talked about satanic rituals and orgies and sacrificing and eating animals. Why does it always go to this? What imagination?
Do they have a horse? I want to know.
Every time in any of the satanic shit, there's always some weird sacrificial.
You got to kill a baby.
It's the same shit over and over for like 20-year span.
Grab your local Catholic church right now. We're going to get horses.
Sacrifice a horse.
Oh, yeah. That was nuts. Check that one out, though.
Yes.
That was the one.
May Martin Preschool.
Yes.
Episode 2.
Check that out.
They asked Brian Ridge why they showed him a picture of the victims. And Brian Ridge said it was to invoke a response because Jessie would just shut down during questioning and they needed him to respond, or he would just say the same things over and over and they needed him to say something different.
Yeah, you better say something different. I don't like that answer. I don't like the truth. You better say something better. Something better than the truth.
So Dan Stidham went over the confession with Gary Gitchell to point out all the inaccuracies. And Gitchell was like, well, he told a good bit of the truth. And the rest, he just simply got confused. A psychologist who was not allowed to testify had told the defense that this crime was so clean and so hidden that it had to be committed by someone with great intelligence. And that was not the case with Jessie. This is not making fun of him. This was fact. He had an IQ of 72.
He would have ran screaming away from that whole scene and told the first person he could find.
Yes. So Dan Stidham suggested that the jury listen to an expert on how lust killers leave the crime scene. Warren D. Holmes was the defense expert on police interrogation, and he said that the types of people who false confess have low self-esteem, low IQ, and want to solve the immediate issue at hand, easily led and naively assume that they can solve the problem later.
They definitely did it. We're telling you the truth right now.
This all fits Jessie. It was pointed out that Jessie did not tell the story, that he was being told what to say and what to agree with. The fact that he said the kids were tied up with rope and not their own shoelaces should have been enough.
You'd have known it.
But it wasn't. Dr. Richard Ofshe was another expert for the defense, but Judge Burnett would not allow him to actually say anything about his opinion on the confession. It was a whole big back and forth thing. It gets wild in there in the courtroom. Definitely watch that on the documentary.
I bet. Like, how the hell, what you're saying is completely bullshit.
Oh, God. It makes you want to put your head through the TV. Like, what?
Were all their IQs
I cannot believe this is happening.
Was it like one big IQ level there through the whole thing? I don't know. Now,
during his confession, Jessie had said that the victims were violently raped, but there was no indication of rape at all. Just the mutilated genitals of C.V. Branch. So that should have been completely shut down. Then the prosecutor brought out Vicky Hutchinson, and she told her bullshit story under oath and in open court on, being recorded. It's on the trial. It's on the documentaries. Yeah. Jesse's trial lasted 8 days, and he was convicted of first-degree murder of Michael Moore. because that was the victim that he said he had ran down and brought back to the scene, and second-degree murder for the deaths of Stevie Branch and Christopher Byers. And only after 1 day of jury deliberation, he was sentenced to 40 years.
So at this point...
I'm sorry, he was sentenced to life plus 40 years. He was sentenced to life plus 40 years.
So at this point, they know every second that happened right there already. Who did what, when they did it, how.
Now, after he was on his way to prison, he confessed again, changing his whole story to incriminate him, all because I guess he realized at the last minute what was really going on. It's just so fucking sad. He was later encouraged to testify against Damien and Jason in hopes of lessening his sentence, but he did not. They even tried saying that if Jason and Damien got out, they would go after his girlfriend, Susie. His father told him that if he told a lie, he would have to live with that forever. But if he told the truth, maybe one day his name would be cleared. So he did not testify against them. Okay, so on to Jason and Damien's trials. So they tried to get Jason to testify against Damien, but he flat out said no, even after promising him 10 years. And then even to get out the very next day, he refused. All I have to say in bold letters, I even have typed bold letters. Bold. These boys did not understand that they would be convicted and go to prison for something they didn't do. They didn't understand how they could find something on them, even though they hadn't committed these crimes.
That's a farce to begin with.
That didn't register with them whatsoever.
They weren't told any of their rights to begin with. Jason
even said that he believed in God, and God would not allow him to be convicted for something he didn't do. And that shook his faith. It shook his faith so hard. Like after that.
Oh, sure.
He's on trial for state, and he believed in God, you know?
Right. We don't take any of that into account, though.
In Damien and Jessie's trials, in Damien and Jason's trials, they only had Jessie's confession, some fiber evidence of some clothing that they or someone in their home might have owned. But what it really meant was they were fibers of clothing that had probably been bought all at the same store.
Right.
Like Jessie's mom and Damien's mom bought the same clothing from the same Walmart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, or clothing from the same Walmart. So that's how that works out. It was confusing to me, but that's, yeah.
Walmarts. Gretchen Wilson told her to go there.
Someone said that they had seen Damien and Dominique on a service road, but that would have put Dominique on the scene, and that didn't match the confession. One kid said he heard Damien confess while drunk, but when it came to time to put him on the stand, he admitted he lied to look cool. Yeah. Then there were a few teenage girls that said they heard Damien confess at a softball game. But that was a whole he said, she said, but she told me, but Susie told her, and Miranda told me type situation. I mean, it was a circus. It was a circus.
Yeah, and they're in high school too, so like there's word getting around. So yeah, there's somebody said something to somebody.
And remember the medical examiner that worked for the prosecution and said that they were serrated knife marks.
Right.
So one day, John Fogelman, he had a hunch. He said that he felt like there was evidence in the lake behind Jason's house. He called the media and a diving expert, and wouldn't you know it, after 30 minutes, a diver found a knife with a serrated blade in the lake behind Jason's house.
Oh, perfect.
Now, from what I gathered from the documentaries is that everyone in this area had a fucking knife. Like the little boys, the older boys, the dads, the stepdads, everybody had. Everybody had a knife. Yeah.
Gotta clean my squirrel.
But here is the kicker, okay? Jason's mom had already said his knife was in that lake. She said she threw it out there when he was being a shitty teenager a year before the murders.
Wow.
And that was information they already knew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So then the prosecution brought in Michael Ray Carson, who was a 16-year-old that had been in the juvenile detention center with Jason Baldwin for a brief time in August of 93 when he was being held there. He had a long list of troubles. He did a lot of acid. He huffed a lot of gas. He was he was bad off. He testifies that Jason bragged to him about the murders and told him that he sucked the blood, trigger warning, from the balls and the penis and put the balls in his mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. When he asked why he waited so long, or when they asked him why he waited so long to say anything, he said it was because he had seen the families on TV and he had a soft heart. But what really happened is he was getting a deal because of his own legal troubles. He had actually heard all of this from a counselor who was just speculating and spreading rumors. I mean,
like verbatim, right?
A counselor was bullshitting with his client. The counselor actually came forward about this encounter, and Michael later recanted his story. Brian Ridge was asked by Fogelman what kind of books Damien read, and he said that there were books by Stephen King and Anton LaVey.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Now, Anton LaVey was the founder of the Church of Satan, and what did we learn? That Satanists are atheists who do not believe in the devil or God, and they're just selfish people.
Anything other than
they're all about themselves.
Anything other than what your denomination is Satanism.
Yes.
Back then, right?
Well, I'm just saying what Satanists are now. That's they're atheists.
Yeah, well, saying
the Church of Satan are atheists
during the panic. So this is basically like near the end of the panic.
Yeah, it's closing in.
Close.
I mean, there's still shit that goes on today. A little bit about
I think
that.
It started really changing though, 95, 96. Like
these documentaries came out in 96 and it changed a lot of people's minds. So yeah. It helped.
But get away from here we go, right?
This is history.
This is insane.
I know.
So let us know what you think about all this stuff. You can hit us up, like I said in the last one, just we got a website now, so it's just drink about something and
.site, right?
.site, yeah.
Drink about something .site.
And so it's easy to find. All the links are there. If you want to go to a different audio player or any of that stuff, streaming app or whatever, there's a bunch of them on there. And I'm getting on there and I'm updating as I go, trying to add more to it, trying to learn the system here. Buzzsprout has been amazing. So if you're wanting to do a podcast, try that or let me know. But everything is just, it's a journey. And I'm glad you're here with us. Lizzie is killing it. Like, this is insane, girl. I mean, that's why you were so nutty about this.
But I mean, okay, so Stephen King got brought in.
For sure. Well,
so
Chuck Norris got brought into
I've read like 12 Stephen King books and watched all the movies, I think, pretty much all of them. I mean, does that make me, Satanist?
Yeah.
And worship the devil?
Yeah. In Arkansas back in the early 90s.
But this was used against him. This is completely used against him.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the prosecution brought in Dr. Dale Griffiths, who was an expert on the occult. Jerry Driver brought him into the equation.
He's back.
So Jerry Driver has driven in. Yes.
Your motor running. Sorry.
So when asked about Satanists, he said that he personally witnessed them wearing black fingernails, painting their hair black, and wearing black T-shirts, and sometimes having tattoos.
Don't forget the trench coat.
Yeah. Those weren't popular yet.
Well, he was wearing one. Right?
Well, I mean, maybe they were. I can't remember.
Nah, it was...
I thought it was a little later on in the 90s.
98, 99.
Well, Duran Duran
Columbine, 99, right?
Yeah. But Duran Duran wore them.
They ran so far away. Couldn't get away.
All right. So he said that the fact that the murders occurred near, not on, near the festival of Beltane, which was on May 1st, the murders were on the 5th. It was most likely satanic. Now, do you know what the festival of Beltane is?
I do not.
It is a Celtic festival that celebrates the start of summer.
Summer solstice for Celts.
Mm-hmm. No sacrificing children. Yeah.
As long as they don't jump. As long as they don't jump off any ledges.
So he asked if the number 8 was a factor, and he said yes. That is a witch's number. So the victims were 8, and he said in Aleister Crowley's work, Mr. Crowley.
I knew he was coming somewhere in this. Like Okay, so I don't know a whole lot about all this podcasting stuff. So that's one of the ones that you showed me. We were driving somewhere, I think.
Last podcast on the left covered Aleister Crowley, and it made us physically ill.
I think everybody that does this covers some Aleister Crowley stuff, but
it made us very ill.
Yeah, that's
a little queasy.
Yeah, hop on them and check it out too. Really cool.
Yes, they're the shit. I love them. So he said in Aleister Crowley's work that they, quote, sex before 8 or you lose the magic power. But the victims were already 8. So then he was like, oh, yeah, did I say 8? I meant 9 or younger.
So now we've changed the devil's number.
So 8 is a witch's number, is cited by the Arkansas State Supreme Court in deciding the verdict.
Arkansas Stall. How would you say that backwards? No. Arkansas State. I know. I was trying to turn it backwards.
Really confused me. Okay. So the defense asked about Griffith's doctrine in education. He said that his PhD was from Columbia Pacific University. This is a mail order college degree that he took absolutely 0 classes to obtain. The college was closed by court order in 2000. Judge Burnett did not care. He said, well, you can be an expert from just life.
Huh. You just know. You already know.
Damien's poem book, wardrobe, and music tastes were talked about, and then his collection of animal skulls. And Jason was linked right in to everything because they were best buds. And Jason was the owner of 15 black band t-shirts along with animal claws or teeth. It was used as evidence against him.
So they're like grunger metalheads, basically. Like,
and his collection of t-shirts.
Like the beginning of goth. They were gothic. Yeah, I remember gothic. Gothic was a thing. Mm-hmm. They're like Manson. And probably Hanson.
Well, he let Metallica. They loved Metallica. I'll get into that more.
I like Manson and Hanson. Yeah. At the same time.
So the defense was utterly shocked at the allowance of this being evidence. It just blew their mind. The defense decides to put Damien on the stand, which I don't believe was a good idea because they had already decided he was guilty. Like it was, you know. Chicka. But he was intelligent and articulate, and they thought it would help. Unfortunately, it did not. They asked him about Wicca, and he describes it perfectly. But then they were like, so you're a witch. And Wicca, but it's goddesses, not mother. Yeah, it is Mother Earth and goddesses and things like that. So then they asked him about the poem book, the book, what he called the Book of Shadows. They asked him about poems, and most of it was lyrics to Fade to Black and Justice for All by Metallica.
Okay.
Quotes from A Midsummer's Night Dream by William Shakespeare and The Twilight Zone. They were just, things that he jotted down that he, and he had his own poems and things like that in there too. But that's
is this something that he did like in the confession room? Like he was writing that down? Like,
no, this was stuff he already had in his possession. Remember when I said Jerry Driver, when he was in juvie before the murders, he went and searched his room while he was in the psych hospital, I believe. He went and searched his room and he found that Book of Shadows in there before the murders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's just simple stuff. I mean,
this was used against him before the murders even happened. Yeah. He was already on Jerry Driver's witch list. Yeah.
The race car driver.
Right. So he said that when he or Jason had a tape that the other one didn't have, they would copy the lyrics down for each other. They asked him about a book he had checked out in the library that was a book of witchcraft written by Cotton Mathers. They asked him if he checked it out, and he said yes. And it was written by a Puritan minister during the Salem witch trials on how they would torture or lock up the accused.
They did a good job in Salem, didn't they? I can't wait.
But they're trying to accuse him of practicing witchcraft, and this is a book that's anti-witchcraft. Yeah, it was written by a Puritan minister.
Okay. Yeah. The same people that
he was just
burning the witches.
Yes, he was. It was like a guide on how to burn or torture a witch. Yeah, or torture them until they admit that they were a witch.
The whole thing: you burn them, you drown them and burn them and cut their head off.
Oh my God! I will cover that after the West Memphis 3. That's in the works too.
I can't wait.
So, anyways, it was written by a Puritan minister during the Salem witch trials. And then they asked him about a book of magic, which was basically just a book about the history of magic and religions, including Christianity. Like, it was about all religions, everything,
So
including
everybody has their
Christianity.
own rituals,
It was, he was just a very intelligent kid and he wanted to know things.
We were just talking about this today. Like, all the Egyptians had all these rituals, and they found out like the Book of the Dead actually used to be the Book of the Life, and unwritten Christianity, where Jesus rose up. He went to Egypt and studied so much stuff over there. He went to like Asia. He went to a bunch of different places, but we can't talk about any of that because we don't want to disprove the whole thing.
All right. So, "You are what you think about" was actually used against him by the jury. The jury deliberated for 4.5 hours on Friday, March 18th, 1994. Jason and Damien were found guilty of capital murder. Jason was sentenced to life in prison, and Damien would be put to death by lethal injection. And that is where we'll pick back up for part 3. Are you nauseous yet?
Yeah, every bit of that is just railroaded. I keep saying that. I'm just going to go toot, toot.
Just don't do no toodaloo.
Oh, God. Toodaloo. They were doing some toodaloo in that. Yeah. They should have called that shit toodaloo. Yes, you did talk about that just a minute ago. That was...
Yeah, huff and gas. Man.
So we got one more
that was
of these.
A thing around them parts.
I guess everybody was back then. Like from like 85 to 95, they were toodalooing. Especially, around them parts. That place, our first episode, it took place not far from there. Really.
Still in the Bible Belt. Yeah. Yeah,
in the belts. So we got one more of these. And if you guys are still with us and you're on board, just send some information back on us or to us and let us know what you think about it. I can't wait for the next one. I'm having such a great time. This is kicking my ass, by the way, this drink.
Yeah.
I've been over here sipping. She's been gabbing the whole time. She's nowhere near as me. Like I'm far along. Can you cheers at one time?
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. Drink about something. This is a lot to drink about. I've been over here like taking it in. While I was waiting, I was hydrating. Yeah. Thank you guys so much, though, for sticking with us.
Yes.
She's got one more.
And then after that, we're going to cover the Salem witch trials.
Is that what's next after this whole series?
After this series, yep.
We're going to go. And check all that out. I don't think you've genuinely walked into some old history, especially in Florida, but up there is a different kind of history up there. Yeah, New England area it vibrates to me. And, I talk about it a lot, but the times I've been up that area, it's beautiful. And there is just old history in every piece of wood, brick, and cobblestone that you come across. There's just so much. And Europe's calling me because there's so much more. Yeah. Anyhow, so back when we were playing and stuff, had an email. Actually, it was a message on Facebook about a band that was coming from Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. What band are you plugging today?
Yeah. So this was a while back, and I guess they were coming through. Like I said, I don't really remember how we hooked up there. Probably like female like-minded type style band or whatever. Fronted, but Squid Hammer, amazing. I wanted to plug that area. So,
by the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I wanted to plug that area. I wanted to get some bands that we haven't played with them, but they sent, she was just like, hey, yeah, you want to play our band? Go ahead. I got this really cool jam. You can check it out.
And I heard it. It's great.
It's so good.
I already followed them on everything.
So good. The song's called Hammer, and it's got
some extra
good.
M's and R's in there.
It's got no Q's, but I would have put a Q at the end of that if I'd have done it. But this song is the Hammer, though. It is insane. And like I said before on the last episode, we play a lot of heavy music because, you know, I'm trying to put some kind of somewhat personal stuff into it, like experiences or other bands that are just amazing. That's either, you know, Wretch Out, and I just I want to plug some cool bands. So send us some bands. We can change up genres. We can do different things at the very end of these. Lindsay's doing amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is doing amazing.
This case is...
She has been nervous. She has.
I've been so passionate about it that I just want to do it justice, you know?
Right. I think this is something you can just stand up on your podium and just yell it out just for days till you couldn't talk, because I don't think the end of this is going to be well, but I don't know. Y'all stay tuned for that. But I want to play Hammer. I really do. Hope you guys like it. I hope you guys stick around.
Love it.
I'm excited. Lindsay.
Part 3 next week.
Yeah, we'll let you go with Squid Hammer, and the song's called Hammer.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. That way we can stay in easy contact.
Love you forever.
And then, drinkaboutSomething.site.
Yes.
Is very easy. Share it too. Let's get some folks in here. I'll see you guys next Friday. So excited. So Squid Hammer, here we come.
Bye.
Squid Hammer. So the band Squid Hammer, check them out. The song Hammer, check it out. Check out the bands up in that area. They're amazing for sure. Thank you guys so much. Once again, I used GroovePad for the song that we did, and Audio Editor, Band Lab, and Buzzsprout. And we will see you guys next Friday. Y'all have a good one. Peace.